Happy day, humans.
And what about lambs? No greeting for us?
Oh, Lady Baba, you know I'm always pleased to see you, especially because you're a puppet and really just an extension of my hand. When I'm talking to you, I am literally talking to myself.
What?
The other day I heard this news item. A politician answered a question, and the news got all excited about how she answered the question. As I listened to the news, I thought, how would I answer this question if I were asked? I took a moment, pretended it was me, and formulated a response. I talked to myself.
Did you use a puppet friend to convey the message? I think we add a certain level of integrity and honor.
Let's do my favorite thing and play make-believe. You can be anything that you wanna be. I've got an idea. Let's pretend you do it like this. It's easy, can't you see? Yum bum ba da 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 dum ba dum. Yum ba da 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 dum ba dum. It's a funny thing, but sometimes the idea of talking to yourself or playing make-believe is viewed as silly or childish or sad or something worse. I find all of these ideas to be wrong. I think that talking to yourself is part of how you practice who you want to be. It's a strategy for identity formation. Who do I want to be, and how do I become that person?
Clearly, you are a woman who is not intimidated by the aghast look of others.
As a young musician and piano player, I was told that if I wanted to improve my skill, I must practice. Practicing for music always felt different than practicing for sports. Practicing an instrument happened by myself. I learned how to do the thing I wanted to improve without a companion. I learned not to fear trying something out at an early age. The practice room, in turn, then became a sacred space, rather than a place of fear and frustration. It became a Zen place where I learned to do the things I needed to do, but I could also do the things I wanted to do. It's where I learned to goof off with music and create sound that came from me, not just the notes on the page.
Well, this seems perfectly normal and typical for a musician. But why do you also talk to yourself? Isn't that taking it a bit far?
I was also a theater kid, and we practiced our lines out loud. We pretended the lines on the page, and we improvised new scenes. I learned how to say the same words in different ways. In different ways! In different ways! With different implied meanings. I learned how to use my body to express words or no words. I learned how much a small tilt of my head, an eyebrow raise, could express. I learned how just a few words can be more powerful than many.
Oh, to have eyebrows to utilize. Ba, ba, ba.
But in high school, that theater kid found a new place for these skills. Speech team. While there were a few events you did with others, most were individual. At a speech team competition, it'd be commonplace to see a room full of teenagers facing walls practicing lines to nobody but themselves. Imagine that. Cafeteria of teenagers, mostly in suits and ties, standing around the edge of that cafeteria, talking to walls, talking to themselves. I saw that every Saturday for 4 years. It seemed pretty normal, in fact.
I think I'm starting to understand your definition of normal.
So when I decided to become a teacher, it never bothered me to practice my teaching process out loud. In addition, because of all my time improvising both as a theater kid and a musician, I had no problem adjusting my teaching process in the moment, depending on the humans and their needs. I never knew to put in a protocol in my lesson plan about what to do when a student pets my shoes, but because I felt comfortable with a plan and I knew how to adjust because I practiced talking to myself about these things, I knew how to respond when I was with others. The same principles applied to interviews and answering questions for interviews. I practiced and I talked to myself. Therefore, I was at ease.
Okay, this makes sense. Wait, did a student really pet your shoes?
Later, when using puppets in my elementary music teaching, it seemed like a natural outgrowth of everything I've ever done. So why not talk to a furry thing on your hand?
I resemble that remark.
Since entering the world of higher ed, I've used all these skills. I teach young children, undergraduates, graduates, professionals, and with other music ed professors at conferences. Every time I prepare, I find a small spot on the wall, and I talk to myself. Even when I create a vlog, I'm actually just talking to myself. Talking to yourself is simply a form of practice. Practice will never make perfect. That's a dumb saying. But practice will give you the confidence to say what you really mean to say. But for now, a haiku. To gain confidence and a sense of what you mean, Please, talk to yourself. I love you, Lady Baba. You sassy, judgy extension of myself.